y'all. Welcome back to Frack the Console. Tyler here. Tyler and can't do this alone. So it is Tyler and CJ. CJ, how you doing, sir?
What is up? What is up? Good to be here.
Yep, happy to be here too because we're representing a minority in the video game community. We are Xbox game players. Uh,
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
uh so yeah, represent yeah. Um, So if you guys are Xbox game players, you probably are aware. Recently there was the Xbox Game Showcase. We're here to talk about certain games. CJ, you're up first. What game are you here to talk about?
Sure, yeah. So they showcase like four different games and I actually really like, obviously Nintendo kind of laid the groundwork for the format, you know what I mean, with the Nintendo Direct and like there's nothing like a Nintendo Direct. But as far as the people who are copying what the Nintendo Direct is, I like the Xbox format because it's a kind of different, this is different from like the E3 game showcase. This is like developer direct. They're focusing on like a couple of games and they're letting the developers really just kind of like talk about like what it is that they are excited about to show us, you know what I mean? And I think that's really cool to like kind of let them have time to shine and stuff like that. I mean, as I mean, someone who wanted to be in a creative field and an artistic field himself. Like I was saying, I'm to varying degrees, I'm interested in all these games, but the one that hooked me the most is Ninja Gaiden. They kind of just kind of out of nowhere. And so this is an Xbox published game, but Xbox doesn't own Team Ninja or Platinum Games, who is partnering with them. So that would make this a second party game. It's an Xbox published game. But I'm super psyched now. I kind of fell off in the middle area of Ninja Gaiden, so like when they brought it back to the like the X, back to Xbox and stuff. So which is like really the heyday. I'm like more of an OG like NES Ninja Gaiden fan, you know what I mean? I have fond memories of playing the first and second one a whole lot, you know what I mean? And and those games were hard back then. And I did play a little bit of Ninja Gaiden 2 like on 360, but like it's just like more of the demo. I didn't own it. But this trailer looks awesome. I'm super excited for the game and like Platinum Games and Team Ninja, and maybe even what that could mean beyond. Because I'm also a DOA fan too. You know what I mean? And if like a hint of a new partnership with Xbox and Team Ninja coming to fruition, that could be more DOA in the future. So, anyways, yeah, let's check out this trailer.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a sole ninja. However, the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos to this day.
Infiltrated the facility. Commencing mission. No escape. Hayabusa.
Whatever your clan is plotting, it ends here. So you've come, Raven.
Back off, Hayabusa. I will execute my mission.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was like the like trailer version. Obviously, if you watch the direct, it had the whole like kind of interview and all that with the developers and them going deep diving. But so what are your? I was kind of chatting about it earlier, but yeah, what are your thoughts and also like what's your? Do you have any touchstone with Ninja Gaiden?
I don't have any touchdown with Ninja Gaiden. My only touchdown with any of the characters is from Dead or Alive, Ryu Hayabusa. You can play as him. And he was always broken because he had one of the same moves he had from Ninja Gaiden, where you're practically a superhero and you could just do anything. Um, but it reminds me of those Star Wars games. With the guy with red hair. I forgot what those games were called.
Oh, like Jedi Survivor and
Yeah,
Jedi the other one, Fallen Order. Fallen Order.
yeah, yeah. Those kind of mechanics of, of traveling through and combat mechanics and all that. And those games are extremely fun. And I'm really excited for this. It's been a while since I've felt this sort of way with any sort of adventure type, game in Xbox. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, like it's really cool to have like because what I think one of the things that people have been feeling like Xbox was lacking is what they're calling it now, like a character action game, you know what I mean? And like this is definitely fits that bill. And for it to be, you know what I mean, like if you're a Game Pass subscriber, like it's, day one on there and it's coming out this year, it's coming out in September, you know what I mean? Like which is
Mhm.
exciting. And like it's a character with merit. It's a character that's been around for a long time, and this new iteration looks cool. You know what I mean? As far as I understand, like Platinum Games has never been involved in this series, so to bring them in as like kind of like modern masters of like action game, and the other thing that excites me about this is that like modern action game has kind of become more synonymous with like Dark Souls, just because it's so popular, and like of course like other people want to like kind of like hop on that, you know what I mean? Like it's popular, so it's like okay, well here's something that feels familiar to that thing that you already like, but this is like kind of our game and our version of it, and I like that Ninja Gaiden. It's an action game and it's a difficult action game, but it's not a Souls-like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it is different. And it's difficult in its own way and rewarding in its own way and fun in its own way. You know what I mean? And I prefer that style of action game to the Souls-like. So I'm excited for that reason as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It was the game I was most excited for, just because I play a lot of this, the series historically. Doom is my first shooter I ever played, and it's basically had the same format, survive horde of zombies, but they're changing up a bit here, and you can take a look at the trailer together. Coming this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. The so like on the actual direct, like we did get a release date, so it's May 15th, I want to say.
Yeah. Soon.
Um, yeah, yeah. So it is, yeah, man, yeah, it looks so rad, like freaking, like you're riding a dragon, and the dragon is like a mech, and then like you get like a mech too, you know what I mean? Like, and you're fighting like this huge, like giant, like demon thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes. Yes.
freaking awesome.
Yes. Yeah, so Doom is one of those games where you can just listen to the soundtrack driving just to stay awake on a long road trip. Or don't do this, but if you're, driving quickly, just yeah, or like let's just say this. If you like go-karting, put these in your ears. There you go. Yeah, great soundtrack. Goes hard. One thing I love about Doom, especially the last Doom, like there's all these weapons that don't just project a projectile, but like do things to your enemies. Uh like Doom 1 had like the chainsaw, and um there's another Doom that had like a thing that made enemies levitate and stuff. But like this one seems to have a lot of different guns that really do really interesting things, like cut enemies in half, and the enemies seem to have really interesting projectiles at you as to where you have to dodge them, jump over them, and those sort of things is stuff you see more often in like you said it earlier, what they're now calling like the Ninja Gaiden type of game. So that's what I've always liked about Doom versus the likes of Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, games that really haven't changed for 20 years. Or Doom that's been around for over 30 years, which is painful to say. Um, it's still innovating, and I really appreciate that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I now so like it's kind of we're in kind of like an opposite boat here where I don't have much of a touchstone for Doom. I didn't have like because it was obviously it was more of a PC thing growing up and like I never really had a PC until kind of like now. As far as one that I could like play game on, and then of course there was like Doom 64, which I did play. Rented it when it came out. But Doom is like this trailer like I've seen this trailer that we just watched, obviously, like that was at the Xbox showcase, and then like I've seen the deep dive. Every time I see this game, it looks so freaking awesome, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything about it, like everything, like the whole, like just uh, diving headlong into like the power fantasy, which like as far as I understand, like kind of seems to be the essence of Doom. And it like has like the little Captain America shield with like and it's like got like a chainsaw mechanic on it and you like throw it at people and then you can like teleport to it. It looks like really it looks like everything about this game looks freaking awesome. There's the skull grinding like shotgunner thing, whatever that thing is, you know. It's like freaking crazy. It's just like a freaking like a fever dream of just like awesomeness, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like almost some kind of like beautiful MTV nightmare.
It is, yeah, yeah, and that's the thing developers are kind of lacking now. I feel like for years and years we've had just the same games over and over again, and every 2 or 3 games a year you'll see something innovative. In the AAA, obviously there's always going to be um games that are made non-profit that end up incredible. Um, but stand out from last year, like Sun Wukong was
True.
like I don't know how many, like 25 people made it or something like that. Um, and it was like one of the best games. It's just so hopefully developers are taking note. But there are, to me it seems like there's more standouts this year than previous years with Xbox. Um, and maybe it's because of having people finally figure out they could do more with this new Xbox. Xbox One. But we do have one that I think stood out to both of us as something different for a different reason. And I guess we could talk about after. That's a Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and I have to get my cursor back here. Get back screen share. All right, here we go. And we three, two, one.
Mature.
I've been having nightmares. Being out here isn't what I expected.
Legacy can take many forms, right? Learn from the ones who came before.
And they betrayal, the ones who come after.
Wait, I hear something.
Get ready! Is that a Kestrel?
I still can't believe they exist.
To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I just need one foot. Aha!
He can turn into a Levron.
Bonjour, mes amis.
We need to cross the sea? Bulger said you could help?
All right. Ready to sail like a snail.
This is a much better way to travel. Fiery.
We're gonna take down the painters, just the three of us?
I didn't take you for a coward.
I'm not a coward. Patrons.
As long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over.
I'm so very sorry, my friend.
Okay, so I'll just rip off the Band-Aid and share who's like what stood out to me like about this more than anything else is this is also PlayStation. So what is up with that, CJ? You have a little more intel on that.
I do. Okay, before I dive into that, because I have things to
Yes,
say.
go for it,
I do
please.
have things to say about that, but I do want to make like, do you know what the plot of this game is? Had you?
No?
It's so like because to me the most interesting thing about this about the Expedition 33 like is the plot. Like I think of this is the second time we've seen a trailer for it now or seen something on it now. Um and it looks really cool, but I haven't seen enough to make me feel like it's gonna be a guaranteed banger or whatever. This is like a French studio basically making like a love letter to JRPGs. And we'll see how close they kind of get to that. It does look really cool. But like the plot is basically like there's this like kind of like I don't know, like goddess like Titan like character called the Paintress. And every year she's like paints like this number um in the sky that everybody can see kind of a thing, and it's counting down every year, and at the end of each year everybody who is that age or older like gets Thanos snapped away basically. And so like they send like an expedition of people like to go and try to kill the slay this paintress before she can paint this other number, you know what I mean? And like all these people kind of die. So this is Expedition 33. Um
The
because that's
33rd expedition.
yeah, so this is where they are with like trying to kill her, and obviously like there's probably going to be people who are like 33 years old like in your party or whatever, you know what I mean, who are like, hey, this is make or break it, like we either kill her or like I'm gone anyway kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So like I think that like it's everything about this game is like really interesting. Like the cast is kind of bigger. Like we got Charlie Cox up in here, we got Andy Serkis up in here. Um it looks really cool, and I even heard that they're like somebody snapped up the rights, like they're gonna make them, who knows, stuff like that happens. But before how does Clear Obscura hit you? I
Yeah,
guess.
very. I see it and I'm like, oh, it's Final Fantasy. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like it's the mechan. I keep using the word mechanics, but more than that, like something with RPGs that um have limited the how you play RPGs historically. It's just been movement. Like you have to walk everywhere. But I can see there's a lot of characters that can fly and do stuff and the uh transform into giant monsters, and that to me was like really intriguing.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so let me touch back to the Band-Aid rip that
Yeah,
you alluded to
Ribbit.
a couple of minutes ago, because this I think that this is like one of the because it's kind of nonchalant, but it's low key like one of the craziest like Xbox directs we've gotten for
Mhm.
like subtle like reasons that they didn't really go into. But like, so every game here, save from South of Midnight, which is we didn't watch the trailer for that. I also think that looks really cool. I really like the art style of that, like how it's kind of like mimicking like a stop motion type of animation or whatever, and and even like the lore behind it and everything about that, like how it's like based on Deep South like lore and stuff like that. Oh, that looks really cool. But save for that, every other game his was announced at this direct as a PlayStation game as well. So these are all Xbox first party games, except for Ninja Gaiden, which is still Xbox published. So it's a
Mhm.
second party Xbox game. They foot the bill for this thing. Um, but they're all on PlayStation 5 as well as PC, as well as Game Pass. Um, this act no, like I'm an Xbox fan, you know what I mean? I'm an Xbox player. This is controversial. People are popping off about this, you know what I mean? Like people are like, "What the heck, dude? Why do I even need to own an Xbox?" Like, and it's like, you know what I mean? Right now, like I don't think they have an answer for you. I do think though, this excites me though. Like, and it excites me because like it feels like we're getting to the point where like Xbox is they're finally executing on their vision. Now, it doesn't excite me in a way like as a fan where I'm like, oh no, they're gonna nail it, like they're gonna knock it out of the park. They haven't proven that yet. But it excites me because like this is the game that they've been talking like for years now. They've been pushing Xbox. They've been pushing Game Pass, and they've been bolstering Game Pass as a service. And then they even when they were coming out with like Xbox Series X and stuff, they're kind of like, hey, like this is like a good place to play Game Pass. Like you know what I mean? They always shove that in there like this. Listen, we're pushing Game Pass. They even look, they'd be happy if PlayStation let them put Game Pass on PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like now PlayStation's probably like not going to do that, but this excites me because it's like, hey, this is almost like advertisement, right? It's like, yeah, this is on PlayStation and you can pay like whatever to play it where you are. Like we don't care. We made this game. Like we're gonna sell it to you if you want to play it like on PlayStation. That's cool. But if you just pay this subscription fee, like on Game Pass, you can just kind of get this like baked in and everything. I think that's exciting because it's like I enjoy the competition as a classic like console wars fan. Like I just enjoy the competition. Like they're playing a different game than PlayStation is playing, like than the classic console wars game. You know what I mean that we've gotten, and that excites me. That is interesting to me. Any thoughts on that so far? As
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's like, how the heck did you get so much like such a shady practice? Like, like, because my understanding was this was like a PlayStation game. They're putting like all the logos on all the stuff for the game PlayStation. Um, and then to basically get Game Pass, just give it out, give it away. Like how, like I don't know. I imagine Sony's not happy with Microsoft with this whole thing. Um, and if it's happening with one game, it's gonna happen in more games. Um, and my hope is we could get like old PlayStation exclusives like Uncharted and Spider-Man, and that would like in my opinion that would be like, why would you ever get a PlayStation if unless they come out with a new thing? Like they're not coming out with like Halo games on PlayStation, but
Yet, though.
yet, yeah, that's true. Yet,
Yes.
yeah. So is
Because
this
here's
yeah,
here's the thing, and like the only game that didn't get announced as a PlayStation also game is that South of Midnight. And my like theory is like maybe that's just because this is a smaller game and that was a smaller studio and Xbox is the priority because it's an Xbox game and maybe it will come later, you know what I mean? Like over there, like because there's no precedence for this. There's no time limit on this.
right,
Like there's no reason why like Xbox can't because they have now shown like, hey, listen, we can develop games, put them on Game Pass, and sell them to other companies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can do that. They've now proven, like, hey, no, like, we're willing to do that. So, like, there's no time limit. There's no reason why Halo the Master Chief Collection might go on sale on PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
or Gears, some kind of Gears
Gears of
collection.
War, yeah,
Yeah, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's another Xbox season. Yeah,
You know, because it's like, because the way Xbox is playing the game now, like it's like, well, whatever, we're pushing Game Pass, so like we can do whatever. We'll make it. We'll take that money from wherever. You know what I mean? Like if you're PlayStation, you want to sell Gears of War, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like you want to sell that for $70. Your customers want to like spend $70 to get this. Like our customers can just get it for $20 a month. But like I think that's so crazy. Like. It's that and that thing excites me, like that idea about it. The second thing that excites me about this direct that is also something that's not overly stated or stated at all, um, is that like Ninja Gaiden is coming out in September, but everything else is like by May.
yeah, yeah.
Like
April, May.
yeah, like so this really is like, hey, no, this is like just the first 6 months, like which makes this a great direct because it's like, hey, this is just gonna take you to like E3 era, right area, right where they're gonna pop off and show the showcase and like, okay, well, this is what we got the next for the rest half of the year. That excites me because I'm like, okay, if you showed all this for the first half of the year, because there's other games too. There's Avowed comes out in a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? Like the Obsidian RPG was it Atom Fall, which is like kind of like almost like I don't know Fallout-esque, Bioshock-esque kind of thing coming out in March. So they got like a really stacked first half of the year, not just stacked but kind of impressive, I would say, like first half of the year like of interesting games. So that excites me because I'm like, you like what's your fall game, like what's your holiday game, like you know what I mean, we know
That's
like
true.
Fable is close.
That's
uh,
true.
we know like they're working on an Outer Worlds too. I don't know how close that, is, we know Gears is coming for at some reason, or I mean at some point, you know what I mean? Like we know like freaking I forgot what I was just about
No,
the
I was gonna say that's a really good point because historically these Xbox showcases have been like, okay, here's what's coming out in November, and here we are. Everything in the in this quarter is so. This is all the doing of the new CEO, and I'm a fan of his. You're a fan of his.
I am, yeah, big
Yeah,
fan.
I actually didn't even watch any of the interviews you were talking about. But what stood out to you about what he shared has been his strategy. Uh, about his new release schedule and how he's trying different things with the Game Pass and not being afraid to poach stuff from other gaming companies.
Yeah, he what is a is perspective. That's really like the biggest thing that like kind of stood out to me is like perspective, like the way like how he's been more transparent as someone who's like the head of a gaming company than like in my recollection like any other like head of a gaming company. Like it's just unheard of for um it's unheard of for people on this level and in this position to like divulge the secrets of the gaming industry like in that level, you know what I mean? And what Xbox is trying to do and like, make no mistake, they're trying to do this because they lost the console generation, you know what I mean? They're trying to do this because they have to do this. You know what I mean? Like they have to do something different than just what Nintendo and PlayStation have been doing. But like just him being transparent, him like going at the angle of, hey, well, look, we may not right now be able to offer you the Spider-Mans and the Last of Us's of the world, but we can offer you like value. We can offer you like this service. We can offer you like, you know what I mean? Like the ways around it. And it's like, hey, look, you don't even have to buy the box. Just like get the subscription and like you can play this on your phone. You can play this on your laptop that you already have. It uses the cloud, so it doesn't have to be an awesome freaking, you know what I mean, laptop. You gotta have good internet, you know what I mean, I guess. Um, but like him talking about that, him saying like him putting perspective on it, like, hey, well, look, we're kind of in a unique position where we can now like we have a lot of development studios, so we can now be a third party software developer and a console pusher. Like at the same time, we can have our cake and eat it too. Like, and we're pushing like this thing as like Game Pass, like as this ecosystem. So it's like it's interesting. Like I really, these are some of the things he's touching on. Obviously, he dives deeper into certain different things here and there. You know what I mean? But that's how he sees it. And it's interesting to hear, but it's like at the same time, like on the flip side, these are still things that have to be proven. You know what I mean? Xbox is still, this is still a strategy that like I feel like is now really kicking into full gear.
Yeah,
And
finally.
so we'll have to kind of see like how it shakes. Like, is it really? Because like I feel like before this, it really like it was kind of like jump starting, kind of there's certain things, and then things got delayed, and then like there wasn't really this cadence to make Game Pass this like desirable thing to keep your subscription going. You know what I mean? Like I had it, but I felt like it was useful to me, and there were games that I'm playing using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I had it too, and it was like, oh, I should play this game from 2010. Like, why am I paying for this? And you're right, it just didn't feel complete. And now that you have dedicated games and games from other consoles there, the big thing that stood out to me is what I forgot about until you mentioned is like, oh yeah, you will be able to play on different devices and now PC. And with playing on PC, that's gonna pull over the Steam gamers. Because there are games you can't get on Steam that are on Game Pass. So that is a huge, well, not huge like the size of a Nintendo, the all of Nintendo gamers, but a big amount of gamers are dedicated just to keyboard and mouse. Um,
agreed, agreed.
yeah, and I actually don't even know if like Doom Dark Ages will be available on Steam, but I hope it's not. I hope it's Game Pass, so we can like I don't know. I'm a fan of Xbox. So I hope we could force people to play them.
I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure it is. I do think it is, like, because I think when I watched the direct, I did think that was one of the, well, it said PC. You know what I mean? It said PC. So that may not mean Steam, but it usually means Steam, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but the last thing, like, bullet point that I want to like mention as far as like the interviews that Phil Spencer like was talking about or whatever that I'll mention is just that he so far, like I said, he's a transparent person. At least thus far, he has shown himself to be transparent, and he keeps saying that he wants Xbox to be a thing, the Xbox console to be a thing. So like so far, like he's been a person of his word. Of course, like the business is a thing that moves, right? Like if something doesn't make sense, you can say what you want to say, but if it doesn't make sense financially, like it's it's not gonna work.
Right.
But like he has thus far been saying like so like this speaks to the people who like feel like oh no Xbox is gonna be the next Sega, they're just gonna turn into a third party developer and like what I mean it's gonna develop, but like Phil Spencer is like saying the otherwise, like, no, he believes in Xbox as a brand and Xbox as a thing. And like he doesn't want that to go anywhere. So like I don't think the Series X personally right now, I could be wrong. I don't think the Series X is the last Xbox console. Like I don't think Xbox is done making hardware. Um I mean like I don't think they're out of the game. I do think that they changed the way they're playing the game to the point where they're kind of like not really in the console battle anymore, but they've also made it so that like that's not important to their strategy. So it's like, you know what I mean? But it's interesting to see, and it excites me as like this kind of thing excites me. I guess.
Likewise, me too. CJ, any last thoughts before we land this plane?
I'm excited. Like I always like seeing new like games on the horizon that can excite me to play them. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like this thing I've been doing since I'm a kid, and like, and sometimes like like, I mean, there'll be years when I'm like, all right, like, I don't see anything coming out that like, I mean, interesting. I might just hang it up. You know what I mean? Like, what else is it? What? There's nothing even new to play, and then I'll see new trailers, and I'm like, ah, man, that looks fucking awesome, dude.
It's so
Like.
true.
I didn't
So
even know
true.
that they still had it in them to catch my attention. Like, all right, like so, yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the first half of the year, but I'm even more stoked. Like, this really just whets my appetite to see the Xbox Game Showcase that happens in June or July or whenever that should take place. You know what I mean? To see what like the next like kind of half of the year is gonna be, because like if we're getting something as exciting as like Doom: The Dark Ages by May, like. What's freaking what are we gonna get in October? You know what I mean? What are we gonna
Yeah,
get in November?
we're the holiday game season. Yeah.
Uh,
I mimic exactly what you just said. I'll just add this one little part. I remember vividly when Xbox first came out, there was a Game Informer head title or head front page. What's that called? Headline. Uh,
okay.
front page headline was a picture of Master Chief, and then it said Xbox, it's real. And back in 2001, 2, 3, like when Xbox first came out, um, it was like the best graphics, it was only a little better than PlayStation 2, but it was all like this is as best as games can get. And it really felt like that for like half a decade or whatever. And then 360 came out, and then the same thing again. And then one came out, same thing again. Now here with X, same thing again. And now I'm like finally like I was finally at the point when X first came out, like, okay, like consoles, I don't think they can get much better. And then this showcase comes out and I'm like, oh, okay. So I really enjoy this lifetime journey of constantly being proven wrong by this expectations of games reaching their limit of like how good they can be. And just that constant like being proven wrong is like I don't know, it's kind of like having a kid who keeps like doing amazing things or whatever. It's like yeah, you ride that bike, Timmy. Yeah. No, you get that Olympic gold medal, kid. Yeah, So yeah, I'm a big fan. Can't wait. I'm definitely getting Doom Dark Ages. And definitely want to play Ninja Gaiden 4. And yeah, can't wait to see. I really am looking forward. You mentioned Gears of War. When that comes, yes. And yeah, and I know we haven't had a Halo game in a long time, but uh I think they're just waiting for something big, and I don't know what that is yet, but I'm all for it when it comes.
Here, here. I definitely echo everything you just said too. You know
Here,
what
here.
I mean?
Sweet. All right. Well, that was Frack the Console, everybody, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.